It was Saturday the 27th of March 2004. I was in a Porsche dealership in Belfast, excited to be buying my first brand new car. It was actually my birthday. You can imagine the excitement I felt. I remember how I looked. I had just walked off a building site and was covered in dust and dirt. I was actually unshaven. That didn't matter to me though, because I was going to buy my new Porsche. I had just agreed the price with a young salesman who, by the way, was looking at me as if, is this guy for real? I remember feeling judged. It didn't make me feel good, that's for sure. Imagine a world free from judgment. Warning, never judge a book by its cover. You could be missing out on reading the best book you've ever read in your life. Just at that moment, my phone rang. It was Tony, my bank manager. He had called me just to tell me I'd just received my first million in business. Wow. When I tell you I felt like $1 million, that was an understatement. I felt like I had just won the lottery. What a birthday. I told the young salesman that I would be back and I had business to deal with and I would be back shortly. And to demonstrate that conviction later in my life, I've always been the guy that turns up and keeps coming back. I'm sure he was wondering to himself if he was ever going to see me again, as I look more like a beggar than a businessman. Remember, I said about not judging a book by its cover. Inside, I felt like $1 million. And even if I didn't look like $1 million, I knew how I felt. You see, it's what is on the inside that really counts. This book now has the perfect cover. Only at this stage did the young man start taking me seriously when I was properly dressed. I now stand before you 17 years later from making my first £1 million deal to being a global entrepreneur. But more importantly, what I'd like to share with you is, I didn't turn up this man, I've built this man. And part of the reason was for me, was for giving up alcohol. Here is the secret in this talk, sobriety. It saved my life and transformed me. When you give up alcohol, it doesn't have to be the end of something, but the start of something very special, freedom. I wasn't locked in a prison of a bottle anymore. I had found the key to get out. The key is only found within. I found my own salvation. You see, I didn't start drinking properly until I was 30 years old. This is very unusual in the UK and Ireland. A report I read recently stated the average age of a person who starts drinking is 13 years old. Crazy, right? In fact, the 18-year-old version of me was wiser than the 30-year-old man. I knew that alcohol didn't agree with me. Alcohol made the 30-year-old feel like a rock star. It was false confidence I had. I was out of control. I told myself, I can handle this. I couldn't. I knew alcohol gave me nothing. It actually stole from me and took me to a dark, dark place. And what I have learned is, if you let it, alcohol will take the shirt off your back and then it'll come back for you. It was only then when I started feeling so low and realizing alcohol had no remorse that I started going to AA. And for the first time in my life, I was in a room full of people who understood exactly how I felt. It's funny because I have been in a crowded room before and felt so alone, but now I felt understood and listened to. The more I listened to their stories and the more I explained how lucky I became, because I still had everything. My businesses, my family, but a lot of people had lost everything and they were just happy from the support from the group. Let me tell you, this was better than being in the Porsche dealership. I had actually won the lottery. I had got my life back and I had got my sobriety. But I didn't do it for someone else. I realized if it was going to be, it had to be for me. Not for my beautiful partner, who is now my wife. Not for my amazing children or my amazing family. No, I had to do it for me. I remember sitting in my kitchen, looking at a coffee cup, and it said, it's never too late to be the person you always wanted to be. It was then I realized that I could do anything that I wanted in life. I could have the huge levels of success that I chose to, and all I had to do was take massive action and have faith. So how did I do it? Sobriety became my superpower. I used sobriety as my new fix and my rocket fuel to propel me in life. It was then time for my rebuild. Sometimes old houses need demolished to build the new super home, and that's what I done with me. As I said, I didn't turn up this man. I built this man. And I built it on the 5 core principles of my life: determination, regeneration, energization, ambition, and motivation. And these words actually spell dream. Now, when I say determination, I mean I became an unmerciless force, prepared to do whatever it takes. I became a juggernaut. I became relentless and fearless. Regeneration, I had to learn how to evolve again every single day. And I don't mean just in my mind, I mean my body and soul. Energization, I made my energy so big, it filled a room. It became my business card. Ambition, I wake up every day with such a burning desire to succeed that I actually have no limitations. Motivation, what motivates me the most is not taking small steps to success. I take massive action in everything I do. We all deserve to dream, right? Well, I decided to dream big, and then I went even bigger, because it's a fact. It takes the same effort to dream small as it does to dream big. So how did I get here? It doesn't matter if you're the CEO of a large corporation or an amazing person that sweeps the streets. We all have the same feelings. You need to know you are capable of doing anything you want to do. You have the ability to dream big as your imagination will allow you to, and then go even further. You can actually live the life of your wildest dreams. But at this moment in your life, if you're not getting what you want, be careful. Be careful that you're not making excuses. But worst of all, you're actually listening to them. What are your triggers? What is holding you back? What have you not achieved in life? What would you like to achieve? These are all questions that you have to ask yourself today, because you and only you know the answers. Many people ask me, Tom, can you please explain why you're getting such high levels of success? I was honored to be asked this, but it was challenging for me to ask, so I've come up with a word which gives the perfect answer. Abracadabra. It was so perfect because it means I create what I speak. You see, I know without the shadow of a doubt, if I can dream it, I can see it. If I can speak it, I can achieve it. So my advice for you is, why not put some magic back into your life? Start dreaming, start seeing, start believing. Be strong, be fearless, believe in yourself. Take massive action and change your life now. It's all up to you. Something only feels impossible until you've done it. And my takeaway for you is, if I can do it, you can do it. And remember, winners win.